Almost every single time I run a Q&A, one of the most frequently asked questions is something along the lines of, how can I trust these companies? How do I know that it's being manufactured ethically and safely? And how do I know that the product I'm taking isn't containing things that I don't want? And if you've been involved in this industry for any amount of time, you know that it is a valid concern, though there are great companies out there. So today I'm here to talk to you about a brand, two brands actually, that went the extra step and became BSCG, Banned Substance Control Group certified.
Welcome to PricePlow.
There are a multitude of different ways that you can find out to trust a company, or if you're a company, to help your consumers trust you more. When people come to me and they ask me, why won't these companies tell me where they're manufactured? I always reply to them, well, that wouldn't really help you with anything, because if you go to these websites, I promise you, go to the worst manufacturer's website in this industry, and you'll find photos that look absolutely pristine and amazing. I can even quote one of the most incredible manufacturers that I know. The owner of it has said to me, if you brought me into my facility and I didn't know it was my own facility, I'd find something wrong with it. There are always things to improve, and there's always ways to cover things up. So one of the best ways to learn to trust a company or to request things, or one of the best ways to find trust with a company, is through third-party affiliations, certifications, testing. So asking a company for third-party testing analysis that they should be running on every single batch in some form. Maybe it's not a full label test, but at least 3 ingredients in that product. ReviveMD has provided me with third-party testing on demand. They also post it on their site proudly. It may not always be the most recent batch, but they do proudly display it from a third-party analysis lab. And that's super important for a multitude of different reasons. First of all, their health products, well, they've got something called like blood pressure RX, which could easily be faked by using a beta blocker to calm you down and lower your blood pressure. They have products that help with cortisol that could be drugs. There's all sorts of different ways that you could fake things and use things that are unethical and not dietary supplements at all by definition. And this certification should absolutely help people trust these companies more. This always begs the question, well, where is it manufactured, right? And I am so sick of talking about companies' manufacturers when they don't want it out there. It's obviously been shared where Raw and ReviveMDs are manufactured, and some people want to raise questions about it. Well, this should be the deciding factor that it's not an issue, because as a person behind the scenes, if you're manufacturing, you want to know all of the SOPs around what is being done. You want to know all of the testing procedures. You want to know all of the nitty-gritty details on how things are being done. And that's absolutely fair. But as a customer, you should be concerned about a few things. Does it meet the label claim? Is it free of extra drugs or whatever other additives could be in there? And at that point, does it really matter where it's manufactured? Because the thing that you've read and you've decided, I'm now going to ingest it, it is exactly that and nothing but that. Well, I'd love for a regular consumer to tell me anything else that they're actually concerned about. So with that all said, I'm going to talk a little bit about the BSCG, what they test for, and what you can expect from them, and why that's applicable to ReviveMD. So reading off the top of the list, which by the way, we always do blog posts alongside these videos. If you are not a watcher, if you like to read, Heather does an incredible job with writing these blog posts, and pretty often I use them as a bit of notes for my videos. So if you prefer to read, run over to blog.priceplow.com and have at it. So the whole list of things that BSCG actually tests for is over 496 substances, but those are including categories such as steroids, stimulants, SARMs, beta-2 agonists, peptide hormones, GHRPs, aromatase inhibitors, hormone and metabolic modulators, diuretics, narcotics, masking agents, cannabinoids, glucocorticoids, beta blockers, PDE5 inhibitors, muscle relaxers, painkillers, opioids, and benzodiazepines. Now, why are these actually relevant? Well, if you have products that affect your hormones, well, those could all include things in here. Like aromatase inhibitors is going to be, well, if any product that says it has DIM in it could maybe has an astrosol in it. Anything that has a pump in it, well, we've definitely seen products spiked with PDE5 inhibitors. Like I said before, blood pressure products could absolutely be a cannabinoid or a beta blocker, or even some sort of diuretic in there as well. All of these things could be and have been adulterating products over the course of the history of the supplement industry. And it's important for you to know that it's not in your products. Now, not all companies are going to be as lucky as NutraBio in manufacturing themselves. They have to go through a contract manufacturer, and covering their own asses with things like this are going to be super important to them, to maintaining not just an image of cleanliness, but being able to sleep at night. Know the products that are being created for their lines are being created well. So this is a nice way of me saying, I really don't want to hear about this anymore. I don't want to hear people asking me about what I think of where something is manufactured. I don't want to hear people bringing up manufacturers. If someone's able to provide third-party analysis and a certification showing that it's drug-free, I think you guys should start getting on the bandwagon and appreciate that. And that's just me. I've been through some of the top manufacturers in the States. I've worked at manufacturers that are some of the top in the United States. This stuff is what really impresses me. Not everyone's going to produce content in their manufacturing and show the bottles being poured and showing all that. But if they can produce third-party analysis and have some sort of testing, well, I'm a big fan of Raw and Revive. I have not hidden that at all. I'm a big fan of Dominic's and Matt's and how they do this. And I think that this is just another giant drop in the bucket of reasons that Revive and Raw is dominating in 2020 and why they're doing a great job. They care about the consumers and they're going the extra step for things they don't really need to do. They don't need to post third-party analysis. They don't need to pay the extra money for this. And yes, this stuff does cost a lot of money. It is going to add to their costs as a business. But I'm hoping overall, it shows you guys that it's something to be trusted and it helps you maybe support them a little bit. So if you want to read the full blog post, Heather has it over on the blog.priceplow.com. If you have any questions about Revive or Raw, you can go to priceplow.com/revive or priceplow.com/raw. If you have any questions about the products or this whole thing, comment below. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. I'm a big fan of transparency and quality in this industry, and this was a big deal for me. We always recommend to companies that if you have the extra budget and revenue, why not put into a certification like this? Help your consumers trust you more. As a consumer, start looking for brands like this. There's quite a few companies that do this with certifications, but it's nice to see Raw and Revive doing it together. And I'm a big fan of the idea. So without further ado, guys, this isn't a huge long video. There's not a lot to go over, but I think it's a pretty big move for them, and I'm happy they did it. So as always, guys, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.
Welcome to PricePlow.